Fever dub! Bow, bow, bow. Dub in the chat. A W.
The Indiana Fever just did what seemed unthinkable 3 months ago. They're now 4 games over .500 for the first time since 2015, and they did it without Caitlin Clark on the court. The real surprise? They broke 4 franchise records in a single game against Paige Bueckers and the Dallas Wings. Even more impressive, 2 of the standout players weren't even on the roster when the season began. The record-breaking night featured big performances from Kelsey Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston, Natasha Howard, and newcomers Ari McDonald and Chloe BBY.
The 100 win over Phoenix. Stephanie White called that a big win. They were outstanding. Mitchell,
Come on.
The former Dallas Wing, Natasha Howard.
Nobody was looking for this. We think Kelsey Mitchell's going to shoot, but that is the play to make right there. Nobody in the passing lane.
Everyone thought the Fever would fall apart without Caitlin Clark, but something unexpected happened. On August 1st, Clark missed her 6th straight game with a groin injury from July 15th, and there was still no clear return date. Meanwhile, the Dallas Wings moved the game to American Airlines Arena, home of the Mavericks, with Paige Bueckers leading a desperate squad that had lost 8 of their last 10. The pressure was intense. Could the Fever stay hot without their biggest star on the floor?
Wins in a row, a season high. Just how have you been able to find that rhythm over this stretch?
I think it's been about, we've had some practices, and I think practicing has definitely tuned us up, fine-tuning up as far as the details. We knew before All-Star that, the second half of the season is always about people making adjustments, people finding ways to stop what we have to do. And I think that on us, we try to do a good job of staying locked in at practices and shoot-arounds and all that kind of stuff to be where we need to be.
From the opening tip, it was clear the Fever weren't here to just survive, they came to make a statement. The team played with urgency, confidence, and zero hesitation. Kelsey Mitchell took charge right away, driving to the basket, hitting shots with authority, and sending a clear message: we're not backing down. She stepped into the role Caitlin Clark usually fills, finishing with 23 points on 9 of 19 shooting. Mitchell didn't just lead the team, she led the entire league in scoring throughout July.
20-point games this season. In her 8th year, she also has a couple of 30s. And Mitchell trades the 3.
Now have a little bit of an advantage in the paint, and they need to keep doing that.
That time, Dejanay went for the steal, and Mitchell kept it away from her. Would not have taken that call so gently, shall we say. But Kalani Brown was her buffer last year. Is Mitchell all the way to the hole?
So you stick together, communicate on defense. This is a high-octane offensive team.
Beautiful pass. Mitchell was so sure of that. After she passed it, she started running down the other end.
But Paige Bueckers didn't back down. The rookie standout answered with 22 points on 7 of 14 shooting, along with 4 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals. She was the only Wings player to hit double digits, proving why she's already seen as a top-tier scorer in her first WNBA season. The game quickly turned into a thrilling back-and-forth battle. But things got heated when the free throw numbers came in. Dallas took 25 shots from the line, while Indiana only got 13. Fans flooded social media, questioning the calls and accusing Bueckers of flopping to get fouls. Even Wings head coach Chris Clains voiced his frustration with the officiating after the game.
Game clock almost the same. Carrington, the spin move. No foul called.
The real meltdown came from DeJane Carrington. Last season's most improved player had a rough night, scoring just 4 points and committing 5 turnovers. Late in the third quarter, she pushed the ball up the court and took a wild shot that left fans frustrated. Her poor performance played a big role in Dallas losing control of the game.
Go to the basket here, but you got to go up strong right there. Don't shy away from the defense because they will get out in transition. And Kelsey Mitchell doing what she does. Indiana up in Dallas.
When the final buzzer sounded, Indiana came out on top, 88-78. The Fever proved they're not just Caitlin Clark and a supporting cast, they're a complete team. They showed they can handle business and win games they're expected to win, something head coach Stephanie White highlighted after the game.
You know, finding ways to get wins, and that's going on some scoring bursts, that's being able to rely on multiple players, getting stops when needed, you know, making adjustments and continuing to grow. I mean, this is a group that's been resilient all season long, and I think that we have such quality depth that we can rely on one another, and rely on one another in certain moments.
Two players who weren't even on the roster 3 months ago just became the Fever's secret weapons. Aerie McDonald and Chloe BBY, both mid-season additions, weren't brought in to make headlines. They were quiet depth moves, meant to give the team a little extra support. But instead, they've made a huge impact and completely changed the game for Indiana.
Stick to your defensive principles. This is an Indiana team that has very nimble on the offensive end.
McDonald from the outside rattles another three. That's her third of the ball.
Aerie McDonald's journey feels straight out of a movie. She started the season and signed, no team picked her up. Then on June 25th, the Fever offered her a rest-of-season contract after a short stint on a hardship deal. Fast forward to the game against Dallas, and she's putting up 15 points and 6 assists, running the offense like a seasoned vet. This came right after a career-high showing against Phoenix, where she proved she's ready for the spotlight and big moments.
She should have looked up and said, "Oh, aren't you an all-star?"
Pass.
And Cunningham completes it.
That's what Indiana does better than anybody in the WNBA.
What set McDonald apart that night was her natural point guard instincts. She controlled the tempo, knowing exactly when to speed things up, slow it down, and get everyone involved. Coach White praised her for having a true point guard mentality and a strong grasp of how to influence the game. Kelsey Mitchell called her a blessing in disguise for stepping up and leading when the team needed it most.
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing with Aerie is that she's dependable, and she's dependable not always for production, but she understands the impact that she can make in the game. And she understands how to do it, you know, starting it on the defensive end, pushing pace, dictating tempo, getting to the rim, creating shots for her teammates, you know, all of those things. And she's got an incredible awareness. And so she understands when she's hot, and she understands when somebody else is hot and how to get them the ball. But I've just been really proud to see her confidence grow in our system and the ownership that she's taking in being that leader on the floor for us.
Then there's Chloe BBY, who wasted no time making an impact. Coming off the bench, she hit 2 clutch three-pointers in limited minutes, momentum-shifting shots that gave the Fever some much-needed breathing room. These weren't flukes, they were smart, timely plays. Her shooting stretched the floor and opened up space for her teammates. Coach White praised her smooth fit into the system, noting her awareness on the court and her confidence to take the shot when it mattered.
I'd say Boston, the rebound to Mitchell. McDonald splits the D. Bibby, this is where she's good. She can extend the defense, and she's done it.
For that nice jumper.
Bueckers again, another double-digit game, 6 in the quarter. Here's Bibby, launches, buries the 3.
Bibby, don't do it like that.
Here's where things got even more interesting. After just 2 games, Chloe BBY earned a rest-of-season contract. The Fever saw enough in her short time on the court to lock her in for the rest of the year. Coach White explained the move, saying BBY filled a key gap as a stretch forward and reliable shooter, something the team had been missing all season.
You signed Chloe Bibby to a rest of season contract today. Just what impressed you about her on that 7-day and those 2 games she put in?
Well, number one, just the way that she fit in right away. She gives us a different look from that forward position with her ability to stretch the floor. And particularly in 2 games where we really needed to create space for AB to go to work inside, she was able to do that for us. She came in and she learned the system right away. It just was such an easy transition, and she's produced.
McDonald and BBY, once under the radar additions, became key pieces in the Fever's most successful run since 2015. McDonald brought the leadership at point guard the team had been missing, while BBY gave them crucial floor spacing that opened up the offense. Coach White's system finally clicked, because these two understood their roles and delivered without hesitation. The Fever weren't just holding it together without Clark, they were thriving, but that wasn't the whole story. While fans focused on the scoreboard, the Fever were quietly rewriting the record books. For major franchise records were broken in one night. And it all started with a WNBA first. Aaliyah Boston and Natasha Howard became the first pair of teammates in league history to each record at least 10 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals in a single game. Boston finished with 12 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, and a block. Howard added 11 points, 16 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, and a block. This wasn't just a great performance, it was history in the making.
Watch the attention Boston gets. Opens up a lot for the guards. Here's Boston. Bueckers had nothing she could do. No rebound Howard. That's rebound number 9 to go along with her 9 points. Beautiful dish inside to Boston.
We'll do is share the basketball here. Just a little dump down to Boston.
Hey, Carrington rolls to the hole. Howard with a rejection.
To the basket here, but you got to go up strong right there.
Now let's focus on Natasha Howard's 16 rebounds. That was a career high. She completely owned the glass, making it look like she was playing against amateurs. Aaliyah Boston, meanwhile, grabbed 11 rebounds to keep her double-double streak alive at 5 games. She's been steady all season, but this game proved she can raise her level when it matters most.
Pass outside to Howard.
Oh,
Boston at the basket, foul on Haley Jones.
It is not a move her out geographically away from the lane to get her off the basket. Tough rebound there.
Geisel shooter's going to come out. Lee Uru will check in.
That's not all. Kelsey Mitchell now leads the entire WNBA in 20-point games since the All-Star break. Her 23-point performance against Dallas marked her 13th game this season hitting that mark. She's been the consistent scoring engine for the Fever, keeping the offense alive even when others have an off night.
The 100 win over Phoenix. Stephanie White called that a big win. They were outstanding. Mitchell,
Come on.
The former Dallas wing, Natasha Howard.
Nobody was looking for this. We think Kelsey Mitchell's going to shoot, but that is the play to make right there. Nobody in the passing lane.
Here's where things get even more impressive. Chloe BBY set a franchise record by hitting multiple three-pointers in each of her first 3 games with the Fever. Those 2 threes against Dallas weren't just clutch, they were historic. No other player in team history had done that to start their Fever career. The 4th record belonged to Aari McDonald. She became the 3rd fastest player in Fever history to reach 150 points and 50 assists, joining only Caitlin Clark and Tamika Catchings. That's elite company for someone who wasn't even on the roster 3 months ago. Her scoring and playmaking have been key in solidifying the point guard spot.
When we get a chance to really put ourselves in a position to, win games, we got to win them. I think any competitor knows that when we say win them. And I think we took some time off, we got a little drop off today, and I think that's what she's talking about. It was inconsistent. I think we could have been a little bit better.
For records in one night proved this wasn't a fluke, it was a team discovering its identity. With Boston and Howard controlling the front court, the Fever had a level of dominance they hadn't seen before. Mitchell delivered her usual scoring spark, BBY stretched the floor with her shooting, and McDonald ran the offense with poise well beyond her experience. But the biggest surprise? The real fireworks came after the final buzzer.
Obviously, Aari, you only joined this team mid-season, officially on a full contract now. Congratulations, but just the impact that Aari has had overall, how do you feel like?
Oh, it's unbelievable. This is our blessing in disguise. We always tell her that we appreciate her, seriously.
Kelsey Mitchell's post-game comments carried more weight than they first appeared. The locker room was electric after the record-breaking win, and the team was still riding the high. When Mitchell stepped up to speak, her confidence was unmistakable. She praised her teammates for stepping up, especially when key players were out. But it was her shout-out to Aari McDonald that stood out, calling her our blessing in disguise. Given the context of recent roster changes, that line felt like more than just a compliment. It was a message Fever fans had been waiting for.
Our season was all over the place, obviously, with, the people that was on the team, the people that wasn't on the team, injury, Tutu not being around as much with her injuries, and just, it takes a lot for a pro to step up and, be where her feet is and step and fill in shoes that, not a lot of people expect. And I think for Ari, she compliments myself, all the other players so well, because she just gets it as far as knowing where people are, knowing the chemistry. And I think for us to her, we have to make sure that we keep patting her on the back, because this is a big position to fill. And I think that she's doing it unbelievably well. So shout out to you, Ari. Appreciate you.
Mitchell's blessing in disguise comment about McDonald wasn't just praise, it carried a quiet jab at Dana Bonner's earlier departure. The Fever had waived Bonner earlier in the season, a move that freed up the flexibility to keep Ari McDonald and sign Chloe BBY. Mitchell's remarks hinted that the roster shakeup didn't just fill gaps, it elevated the entire team. She went on to say, "We always tell her that we appreciate her seriously because our season was all over the place and it takes a lot for a pro to step up, be where her feet is and fill in shoes that not a lot of people expect." That wasn't just about McDonald's performance, it was about how the locker room had grown stronger, more focused, and more connected since the changes. Coach Stephanie White echoed that spirit, pointing to the team's us versus the world mentality as the turning point. Her emphasis on resilience and fighting through adversity became the core of this team's identity. And the players bought in completely. After the game, they spoke openly about how their chemistry had improved, how they were playing with a new edge, and how it felt like everything had finally clicked. There was a visible freedom in how they moved, passed, and trusted each other. This wasn't just a high after a big win, it was a team that had discovered who they really were through the toughest part of their season.
And I asked Kelsey in regards to more about this, but Ari, just the impact that she's had for you all this season, what do you like most about what you've seen from her thus far?
No, number one, her energy. I mean, she is, she's an energy giver. She's fast. Her speed changes the game for us. Her ability to get the ball from one end to the other quickly. Her ability to get into players defensively. She changes the game for us in that way. I have continued to be impressed with just how quickly she immersed herself, into our team and fit in right away.
The excitement around Caitlin Clark's return just raised the stakes even higher. This Fever squad, already breaking records and building chemistry without their star, is about to add their biggest weapon back into the mix. And that chemistry? It's only going to get better. Mitchell and her teammates have proved something huge during this stretch. They're not just surviving without Clark, they're thriving. The team has found a true identity, one built on balance, depth, and trust. The roster moves created the right fit, and every player has fully embraced their role. Now, with Clark rejoining this transformed group, Indiana's 2025 season is shaping up to be something special. This team isn't just Caitlin Clark plus 4 others, they're a legitimate championship threat with depth no one saw coming. 4 records broken in one night. Ari McDonald becoming the 3rd fastest player in franchise history to hit 150 points and 50 assists. Chloe BBY setting a new standard for sharpshooting in her first 3 games. Boston and Howard making WNBA history together. With Clark back in the lineup, the rest of the league better pay attention. The Fever are just getting started, and 2025 might be their year.